Look, Mom.
What?
Bob in the boat. And the boat to float.
It just rained and hailed.
Waiting.
We have quite the stream
Yo.
right next to our
Over there.
tent.
Over there. In the little creek. Oh yeah, that's where this thing leads to. Really? Yes, yes, yes. Come on.
They're going to
Bob.
be entertained for a few minutes here.
Never Bob gets stuck right there or like that.
I don't know how long it rained for, but it rained pretty hard. This is all a nice big flowing puddle, so it's going to be nice and muddy tonight. But lots of people still camped out here in cars and tents. This is like the overflow camp area for the tents. They're getting set up. There's going to be a concert tonight. It's starting to fill up again with trucks. So there was two different convoys today. One went to Harrisburg and then Gettysburg, and I got that mixed up, and so we got mixed up on where we were headed, and we ended up in Gettysburg, not Harrisburg, and they ended up going there and just not first.
We'll find out. Hey, Gail, where's our power coming from? Where can we plug into?
What do you get, power?
This is the new security guy. And all these guys, I had to do some backwards craziness to be able to live stream, but these are all the guys that are live streaming all the time. Look, we're digging trenches to get the water away from the tent. They've set up a little kids area over here. They've got snacks and toys. They had an easel set up here at one point, but I don't see where that went.
You don't realize how much something is out of level until you try to flow water.
Exactly.
Some chips and cereal and a bag. Okay.
You know, it's hard to walk a block. I mean, they don't have 4 tires. It's hard to walk a block.
Panic to cover up all this stuff back here because of the rain. Oh man, I need to drain those tarps. They're sagging. How are you guys?
Hey, how are you?
You look lost. Can I help you find something?
Deciding what we're doing, you know.
Are you? Is this your first day here?
I was here the first weekend.
Okay.
I drove up and then I bought her this time.
Nice. Where are you guys from?
Virginia Beach.
Oh wow. How many hours is that?
Just, well, it took me 5 hours the first time. It took us about 4.5 hours this time. I think so.
I came
4 to
from-
4.5.
I came from Idaho, so we have a little bit longer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you don't stop, it's like 34 and a half or something.
Wow, I thought the drive to Oklahoma was bad.
Yeah,
That
no,
is
it's
way. So you pretty much have to stop at least twice, right?
Oh, like minimum. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, so we hit weather the whole way here, so it ended up taking us 5 days.
Wow.
So we hit a snowstorm the first night. And
Just
it ended
this
up-
week?
No, this was last. I don't know what day we're on. So the night that they got a bunch of snow here.
Okay, okay,
So the week before that.
okay.
So we got stuck in Wyoming. There was a bunch of snow, and we got stuck on like a closed road for hours.
No,
The
you had,
first
at
night.
least you had enough gas.
Yeah, we were good on gas, and it was just like super slow rolling because you couldn't see in front of your car.
Wow.
And then it was just like we got through that snowstorm, got some sleep, and then when we got up to roll again, the roads were closed. So we were just stuck.
Are you in a truck?
Oh, no.
No, I'm in my car. I brought my kids out here.
Awesome.
So what brings you guys out here today?
Well, you know, we just
Support the cause, freedom.
It's pretty screwed up what's happening in our country.
Oh,
And,
you're
you know,
so
people don't even understand that. And, like, a lot of people are like, you know, what? Why? Why are you going? Like, they stopped the mandates, and I'm like, yeah, but they
But not
haven't
for
stopped trying
everybody.
to vaccinate, you know, the doctors and the
Government
nurses
overreach
and the freaking
overall.
kicking people out of the military, you know, and they've released all the information about how
Bad it
dangerous
is, yeah.
that shot is, and they're still trying to push it on the people's fucking kids.
Yeah.
It's wrong, you know.
So we're actually, I think, down to 24 days. They're trying to get the Pfizer vaccine added to the kids' like annual shot schedule. Like they're trying to make it a normal
That's insane.
thing.
That is
And I'm like,
insane.
it's not even approved yet. What are you guys even thinking?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
the fact that we have to protest that blows my mind. That like there's no
And it's not dangerous to the kids. Stop giving people medication they don't need. It's
Yeah.
not
Right.
good for you. Like, and you know, not to mention, even if they stop these vaccine things, whatever, our border is still open. You know, our president is still has dementia. You know, not to mention a whole bunch of other corruption.
right.
Like, there's a whole bunch of problems. There
So
are a
were
bunch
you
of-
guys directly affected by any of the mandates?
Besides having to wear a mask, no. My sister works for Verizon. They were forced to, but then a lot of people got it because they didn't want to lose their job. My sister held out. She got a religious exemption, but then the Supreme Court blocked it, so she's good for now.
For now. Yep.
My company didn't do that to us, so. But I would have walked away
Yeah.
from my job.
They sent out like an anonymous survey to which I responded a full-on thesis paper with cited sources and everything about
Wow.
why I was not getting the shot.
That's
And
awesome.
they did make us boxer.
Yes.
But they were trying to say because we're a government contractor that they
She was a runt,
and I'm like,
a litter.
you know,
Well,
no.
I'm Jennifer, by the way. It's
Hello,
nice to meet
Courtney.
you.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you.
Yeah,
Melissa.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is Mia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mia.
So you guys tent camping? Did you bring a trailer?
Drove the car.
Drove the car?
Yeah.
Sleeping in the car?
No, got a room in Frederick, Maryland, just 30 minutes away.
Nice.
So we came earlier and there was not much going on, so we went and got some food and then came back and
So
stormed.
did you guys drive the Beltway today?
No.
Nope. Are you going to tomorrow?
I don't know.
I guess we're gonna come here and see what's going on, like what's happening with the morning.
Well, they'll probably leave at what, 9 or 10? That's normally.
So today they tried to leave at 10. It's usually about 10.
Okay.
They tried to get a little bit earlier of an out today, just to get back early for the concert. But have you driven in it at all?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm geographically challenged. So when I left here, I felt like I was on the DC Beltway, but I don't know if I was or not.
I mean like with the convoy.
No, I have not. No. We did see them going in the opposite direction today when we were.
Yeah,
so that was
there
cool
was
to
a bunch
see.
of people on the overpass and a bunch of trucks with flags.
I was not expecting what it was the first time I went.
Right.
So if you guys do go, don't get a coffee in the morning because there's nowhere to stop.
Okay.
Like nowhere to stop.
Well, because
and
they
it's
have
like
all the
hours.
exits blocked too.
Yeah, well, they have that doesn't help, but I was not prepared for that day one, and I was like, I had kids in the car, and I was like, okay, we have to find a bathroom,
Right.
Like, and then you couldn't get off, and it was like, guys, I'm sorry, you just have to keep.
You're gonna have
to keep holding it.
Pee in this cup, and we're gonna dump it out the window.
So how long were you on the Beltway for? Like,
I think the longest that we were gone was like 8 hours.
wow. So are you going every day with them?
I had to stop the day that I had to go get brakes.
Okay.
And then I didn't go yesterday. It was really hard on your brakes because you're like following.
Oh, I'm
close.
sure. I'm sure.
And then I didn't go yesterday because I had to get some work done.
Okay.
So
Now, are you guys camping in a tent or?
we're in a tent. So far right now everything's dry. Hopefully it doesn't start raining again.
Right. I don't think it is.
Okay.
No,
You see
it's-
that
it's
beautiful
gone.
rainbow earlier?
It
That
was beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the radar looks clear all through tomorrow.
I mean, that's
so
a cool
till
picture
next
right
week.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are your kiddos?
They are
In the tent?
they're taking some quiet time.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
I'm sure just everyone that's been here the entire time I'd be exhausted. I would be.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be as harsh as it was the first couple days we were here with the weather.
So are you here for the long haul?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'd love to be, but I have to go back to work.
Gotcha.
So what made you decide to come out here for this?
The opportunity arose, and I've never been to this side of the country. I'm super active in Idaho, like with everything. And I kind of just wanted to come see for myself if it was gaining traction, what the momentum was, why people were here,
What do you
why
think?
people are choosing to drive across the country for this when there's certain things locally at home where we can't get enough people to show up at our capital to do something.
Right.
And I know a lot of it is our area is kind of ignorant to the fact that we're about to turn blue. And how close our state is from turning blue.
Right.
And it's been interesting to me talking with people. Some people really honestly have no idea how much bigger, people that are here honestly have no idea how much bigger this is than just COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And it blows my mind that once you start digging into how messed up the COVID stuff is, you haven't uncovered everything else.
There's a
So-
lot of people that have, researched and been paying attention and looking at stuff for a while, and there's a lot more into this.
Oh yeah, a lot more.
There's a lot more to COVID, period.
Yeah.
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah.
So,
Money. Follow the money.
yeah.
They're
Everywhere.
trying to take away our freedom and our guns. And not today,
Yep.
Satan.
Not today. There's some new vehicles in here tonight. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna go check them out.
All right.
There's some cool looking ones. But it was good to meet
Nice
you guys.
meeting
Thank you.
I got one on my gate. I went through a divorce. 18 years of divorce. I have. Off my gate. Oh, just bad. Just got to call me and okay, it's about to leave.
And you can do it knowingly or unknowingly, right? Just like when people think, if I said consequences, most people would think of it kind of has a negative connotation, right? But it really is just another name for action reaction. Because you came up, because you saw the truck, as a consequence, you had to listen to me for 20 minutes. Like, so we kind of give these words like inherent meaning. So with the whole vehicle, motor, that thing, how you put yourself out into the world will determine where you go, and it will determine your impact on other people. So you need to be very aware and very intentional as much as possible. None of us are perfect, right? We're gonna screw up all the time. We're gonna do something, God, I wish I hadn't done that. But more often than not, you try to take that value set and work on yourself and put it into a positive scope in the world. Because as G.K. Chesterton said, who's a Catholic philosopher, you familiar with Chesterton?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not his most famous quote, but this is my favorite one. He said, I say that a man must be certain of his morality for the simple fact that he must suffer for it. What drives you comes out, and what you really have inside, not the surface stuff, not the I could take it or leave it, what's really deep in you, the unbreakables that you will not let go of, what truly makes you the man you are and the woman you are. Your life will be affected, and you will pay for it in one way or another, good or bad. So the takeaway with all this, you better be damn certain you know what it is, and you better be damn certain you're willing to pay the price for it, and it's something worth fighting for, dying for, standing on. It's all of that stuff wrapped in, and then where are you going to go from here? That's what 8.3 liter is. That's why we have the truck and all this stuff and the shirts, because with all of us have individual sets of all that stuff I was talking about. You have your own non-negotiables. And you're all leading different ways. As a group, we then take that and we make a country out of it with the government. And that's the 15-minute spiel of what I believe in everything.
Yeah.
So, it's.
I think for a lot of us, it really is freedom. Because for me as well, like I'm no one's slave, and I will never be one.
Amen. Good.
I'd rather die than have to take away the freedom. I would rather die.
This is the thing I tell that we agree upon, because we met through politics.
Okay, yeah.
And that I was in prison for over 7 years.
Okay.
I mean, they can do whatever they want to. Make no mistake about it. They label you a felon. I mean, a lot of it is justified. Don't get me wrong. A lot of criminals out there. Like I said, you see how it goes. But I did a hard time for trivialities. And what they can do to you and what they can say about you once they have that ability is terrifying. And I realized it years ago. Holy shit! We have no rights. We don't. All they have to do is just, you're guilty. See ya. Throw you in a hole. They can do whatever you want. They can beat you and kill you and say you try to attack them, and then you're a criminal, even worse than you know what I'm saying. They can say anything they want to, and it's the truth, because they have the letterhead, and they put that statement on that letterhead as evidence now.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
Because they have that power.
You've been labeled.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
and that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
And hey, everybody makes mistakes, and the beauty of it is the American value set says hopefully you don't have to pay for somebody else's mistakes. We face and we pay the price for our own misgivings, and if we accept our responsibility for what we do, we learn from it, we move on, and we grow, and that determines how you grow as a person.
So this is my point. The justice was weaponized long before we realized.
Yes, and that's a huge discussion, right? But broadly speaking, two things can be true at once.
Absolutely.
I mean, I spent time sitting in the military brig waiting for a trial, for pretrial confinement with no charges pressed.
Yeah, right.
You know, and you know, my charges were all dismissed with prejudice, but I paid for it with my Coast Guard career. I was 8 years in, wanted to do 20, and it was like, well, you're clear, charges
you
dismissed with
retire
prejudice,
now,
but
right.
you can't stay. You got to go, start your life over again, right?
Because your full pension, right?
Right, yeah, I literally nothing, you know. But that if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be the person I am now, standing here.
That's
right.
What I told her about my
you know,
right.
And so two people can go through again. What's driving you, right? Two people can go through a similar situation, and one person it sends them into depression and a spiral, and they blow their brains out, and then the other person embraces it, and it becomes the thing that they launch their whole life on. You know, and it, you know, there is conscious choice, there is intentionality, and the more you're intentional with the truck analogy and all that stuff, the more you work on this, the more intentional you can be, and you won't fall victim to your own, you know, bad emotional decisions and, you know, doing things for the wrong reasons, right? Because you become more finely tuned with what's driving you, and things get easier. And when you're just super authentic, you don't hide anything, and you come right. Yeah, I was felon. Yeah, I lost my military career for a rape allegation that I didn't commit. An allegation's the easiest thing to make.
Exactly, right.
You know,
right.
We have the right to face your accuser. We have innocent till proven guilty. We have all these things we can talk about to try to get it right as much of the time.
Right.
When you hide things, you're the one that suffers.
Right, yeah.
You know, you're the one who carries that around. I'm not carrying around the 7 years you did.
Right.
You are.
Right.
And people get all locked in their boxes, and they get all bound up, and they can't, you know, interact with people, and they can't have healthy relationships, and they can't be the person they want because they're carrying around these weights. I did it for years. You probably did it for some time. We in everybody in some way, right?
Sure.
And when we free ourselves of that, it's really powerful. And the thing that you struggled with, or that you did, you haven't said anything, right? But you probably got something. You're smiling. You probably got something that has been the worst thing in your life, a real trial. And I'm not talking like you stubbed your toe, but something went really wrong, and you paid a price for it. Whatever that was for you, if you can put that out in some way and in the right place, time, context, you could actually unlock somebody else's problem, because somebody else might have gone through something similar, and you can, by your witness, you can help them.
You remind me of the just some knowledge I picked up that your life is made up of a collection of 10 different moments, give or take.
Sure.
Where life turned on a dime for you, and that's what you began living from.
I call those lightning bolt moments. And a lot of people, we tend to overblow, you know, the small little piddly things. But when you really truly have a lightning bolt moment, you know it. And it's a turning point. It's a definite closing of one door and opening in a huge way, like a real catastrophic thing, you know, like a house fire where everything burns down,
it could
or
be
the
good
loss
or
of
bad.
a child, or good or bad, right. But it's what you make of it and what you can take away.
Exactly.
And that's an American ideal. That's an American value.
Yes.
You know,
It's your destiny. It's your
It
life.
is,
You're
yeah.
America. You have
Right.
an excuse.
Just
Right.
An anecdote. We're parents of a leukemia survivor,
wow.
and that was probably that was our greatest trial so far
I can't imagine that.
together. And
We're about to have a baby. I can't imagine
and you'll
having
you'll
a child sick.
when you know he was on intravenous fluids at home for 6 months, and we were the IV techs.
Wow.
And so it was a full-time job.
Yep.
And it was in that trial where we learned how to choose our battles,
Exactly.
because you really had to let a lot of things go, or you didn't have enough mental energy
Right
enough
there.
at the end of the day.
That's sage wisdom, because the most painful thing for you is not the most painful thing for them, is not the most painful thing for me, right? And perspective is a very interesting thing. When
Really?
you get perspective, it's that worldview shift.
It falls in line with what you're saying about our engines and our transmission, because we still have that fluid from that special fluid that we used during that time coursing through us. It really that we took that with us, and we really it's calm.
I'll tell you, I don't know if that was probably a fluid change or an engine rebuild. you took out the little 4-cylinder, you put a V8 in because
Definitely.
you had to, because it was time to kick in and pull that load because you had no other option. Who's giving up the option? No. Whatever you went into that situation with, that's not how you came out. And
But I will
you
tell you,
changed
because
that
of that
because you had
trial,
to.
we have been able to help so many other people, and that's
there.
what
That's
it's about.
awesome.
Truth in it.
I hate to say that, but you know, if I had to go
God.
through that in order to help and bless others, then it was worth it.
God
Amen.
can use.
Is your child okay?
He's
Yeah,
fine.
he's
Yes,
12.
he's at home
Thank
playing
God.
Xbox.
God,
Well, he's a
How
little
old is
angry.
he?
God,
How old is he?
He's now 12. He was 2 when he was diagnosed.
Oh,
So
my
3
oldest
years.
is 11.
Okay.
I'm
now
so sorry,
He's
but
our
I'm
youngest
so
of
happy
6.
that-
So
Oh.
no, it's all good.
2 people
God's
that got
got it.
cancer in my high school when I was there, and I can't imagine. You know, it's just,
God began.
they both survived.
God began recycling that from week 1.
Yep.
And where a lot of people think that it just belongs in the trash, God began using that and using us to help others from week 1. And
That's really
So whatever your
It's
determination
a beautiful
is, you've got
story.
to, you've
Yeah,
got
yeah.
to put it forward,
Well,
Because
I mean-
honestly, I need to learn from you guys. I lost a child. My son died,
I'm
so sorry.
and I don't know. I
And
don't know.
this right here, what you just said, I need to learn from you, and what we're talking about witnessing, right? This is one of the most beautiful things about having people here, and that it's our responsibility to walk away from this place. You two should talk, and if you're comfortable, you should lean on each other and say, hey, let's at least start some kind of a casual thing, because we have hundreds and hundreds of amazing people here who are willing to step out, stick their neck out for their fellow man, even the ones they don't know. And now you know somebody who said, hey, what you guys just said you have, I need that. And it's our responsibility to jump in and help each other. So I hope you guys do that.
That's what we're supposed to do. As
It
people. We're
is.
supposed to encourage, and
Christian
uplift and
values,
help.
but it's
absolutely.
American
We're created
values.
to do that.
It is American values.
Right.
And that's the beauty
Was
of
that
what's
both of
happening
your
here.
child?
And I've been advocating for people to take away, if not somebody that you see a license plate from your state, be like, oh, you're from my state. Hey, where are you from? I'm me, and maybe we can work together in our state. If you see a car that's from your state and you haven't met them yet, you damn sure better be going up to say, hi, hey, you're from Jersey, I'm from Jersey too. What part? Oh, you're literally the next town over. You can be a vote in our school board election. And if you didn't take 5 minutes to get out of your shell, like we're talking about, and go handshake with that person, you wouldn't have that vote or whatever. Or you wouldn't be able to help that person with something that's not political, that's a deep, a deep heartfelt thing, right? What exit? Yeah. What highway? What exit? Because this stuff is political, but really, the politics can all fall away if we live the values of that flag, and we live every day with the 8.3 liter mentality and all of that stuff, right? The problems fix themselves.
Yes, they do.
Because it's a working system. It does function, it's beautiful, and I believe it's blessed by God. So, I mean, and it's all the things we've done to try to tweak it and make it easier and say, well, I'm not going to do that because that's hard. I don't like going and meeting people I don't know.
Convenience killed
Convenience,
America.
right?
Yes.
Killed the American
living
man for
through
sure.
convenience instead of intentional living.
It's a bad word.
We're friends with people just because we work with them, but we hate their guts, but we spend time with them on the weekends. Just why?
Exactly.
We allow
No,
our
I'm not
kids
like that.
good. We allow our
I'm not
kids
like that.
to be friends with other kids when we know the families are terrible just because, well, they're, no. Drive 30 minutes to have your child or your friends that you want to spend time with who build you up, who lift you up.
Exactly.
Life's not easy. It's always hard. You guys have hardships. You have hardship. You guys face hardships. I face hardships, right? So choose your hard. Choose your hard,
To the choir here, brother.
Yeah.
Let's get to some important stuff. Where'd you get that truck? How much did it cost?
There it is. There it is.
I'm from Manchester.
You're Manchester, New Hampshire?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me give you my card.
Washington State.
Right?
I asked you.
Perfect. No, here.
Where are you from?
Take my New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Yep. Yeah, here,
The
take a
big
couple
city,
of those.
gateway to New England.
Yep. I've driven this truck through Manchester a few times. Yep.
I bet.
So
Well, my dad was in.
There we
my
go.
dad was in
Pearl Harbor down to
So, yeah.
New Hampshire National
Long way
Guard.
drive.
James, excellent.
Cancer.
So this is a 1990. This is a
Newbie.
yeah. This is a 5-ton Deuce and a Half's big brother. It has an inline straight 6 Cummins diesel engine in it. Allison automatic transmission, full-time 4-wheel drive in the back, selectable 6-wheel drive in the front. Came out of the military as an 18-wheeler. I flatbedded it, changed all the paperwork. It's a giant overblown pickup truck on a lot of steroids right now. That's what it is.
The newest truck we
So-
had in Nam was a 52.
Yeah.
They used to have Russian beer cans from World War II.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So it's my grocery getter. And
that always freaked me
how'd you
out.
know it was mine, though? That's the question. How'd you know it was mine?
Because I said to a guy, you on this truck? And he said, no, that guy's a green shirt.
Word travels fast.
Oh, yeah.
I said,
Word
well, you better
travels
tell me
fast.
what the hell it costs and how he got
So,
it.
depending on what model you get, and obviously what kind of condition they're in, and what part of the
So normally by now there's more people here, but we did get back a little bit early. I haven't heard the long stream of horns coming in yet, so they still must be out on the road. How are you?
Good.
Where are you from?
Transfer, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Wow. I came all the way from Idaho.
Oh, you're a little further out than me.
Just a little bit.
You're a couple states out.
Couple states. It was 34 hours if we didn't stop.
Driving.
But, you know, we had to stop for bathroom breaks and sleep and all that
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah, I live in northwestern Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I came in, they were thankful for donations. I caught them on their evening speech, but they said it'd be nice for people to show up.
Yeah.
So I said, well, instead of donating money, go down and spend a few days.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't quite prepared for how exhausting it is driving that Beltway. Being on the road that long and stop and go is definitely a mental drain.
If they weren't messing with their constitution, like I went there in 2001 with the Union, and buses from all over the eastern United States showed up there. And we would go to drive to a place and get if 10 buses came in here and picked everybody up and took them away.
Okay.
So then they come out and hear your grievances.
Yeah.
The time we went down there, President Bush came out on a stage and spoke with us.
And now nothing.
And they won't.
Yeah.
They're not Americans.
Yeah.
They
It's
have
insane how we've gotten to this point. It's insane how we've gotten to this point.
Oh yeah, we keep voting them in.
But are we?
In Pennsylvania, there's a big farm by me. The guy has a well-to-do, has a big flag up in the field, upside down. So I sent my congressman a letter, a short email. What has been done about the election fraud in Pennsylvania?
Nothing.
And he said he filed it, and the state of Pennsylvania Supreme Court refused to hear it, and it's stacked with Democrats. He goes, we'll violate our Constitution. They put all the machines in like a year and a half before the election.
So what do you think is the fix to that? If the court system's messed up, if the ballot system's messed up, we can't vote anybody in to fix the court system.
You know what my sociology teacher said in 2013 at Penn State? She goes, America. I'm talking about, she said, when mankind becomes such a large V that they can't get along, it tips over. And they're on the threshold of some kind of civil war. The Democrats is not the party from my mom.
No, it's not. It's not the place I grew up in, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of, Pennsylvania is really bad anymore.
Split?
And the cities are, but our government
is terrible.
It's like, who are they?
Right. Where'd they come from?
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Are you filming?
I'm trying to. It keeps cutting out because of the signal, and I'm super banned, so I'm not sure if it's cut out because of me.
My buddy told me, he goes, everybody can send me photos and that, and I go, I can open them right up and see them, but when it comes from you, it's like forever download. He goes, they're screening you.
Yeah, no, for sure. So 2 years ago, I got social media black bagged off. I'm gonna end this because I'm talking about stuff.